All right, the next question comes from, we've actually got three people asking about incentive schemes. We've got, who we got? We've got Shane, Rob and Vicky, and John. Let's talk a little bit about incentive schemes. Russ, how do you reward your guys and who do you reward?
I let them come and work for me for 44 hours a week.
Very kind of you. Nice.
I let them work for me.
Do they get extra money if they do the 44 hours? Because obviously if you've got someone just doing 40 hours versus doing 44, 4 hours, 50 weeks, that's $200 more, 200 hours more during the year. If you've got an apprentice that you're paying $20, charging them out at 50, that's $30 an hour, times $200, and there's an extra $6,000 to you.
Yeah, so interesting enough, Marty, I've been reviewing a lot of my practice. It's a bit like me, I've been doing it for a long time, and you actually, over time, you sometimes let some of these things go. And what I talked about the other day about me losing those couple of jobs was giving myself an uppercut and going back to some of those things. So I have a perfect example of one of my young guys. He's been pretty average. So he now, if he does a full week, he's going to get an extra $50, basically.
Cool.
It's an incentive for him and that. But what I used to do is do that. I had a checklist. I had, if they wore the uniform, if they did 44 hours a week, obviously, which means they have to be on time, etc. Have their time sheets filled in and all those sort of things. They all got a $40 bonus a week. This is a few years ago. Haven't done it for a while. Really think it's valuable, and I'm going to probably look at introducing that again. But at this stage, my incentives only go to my foreman. So not my builders, just the foreman. He is the key part of my ingredients of running a successful job, the foreman, for me.
Yep. Okay, cool. Awesome, Russ. Now, just on that, there's a few, we've got quite a lot of other members who do incentive schemes, and some of the ones that I've seen operate the best over the years. Brendan does a simple one. So he does, the foreman gets rewarded $150 per week, basically as a project management fee or bonus for that job, as long as the job's brought in on time and under budget. And so if it's a 10-week job, the foreman will get an extra $1,500. So that's one that works quite well. There's another one that some of our guys use, is 20% of the labor saved. So if you have 3 guys working at, say, $50 an hour, 40 hours a week, then you've got 120 labor hours, you've got to charge to the client of $6,000. 120 labor hours times, say, a $50 average charge out rate, there's $6,000 to the client. So if the foreman can bring that job in 1 week earlier, you've just made an extra $6,000. Now, 20% of that labor would be 20% times $6,000. So that's $1,200. So the foreman in this situation would get an extra $1,200 for running that job, and it might be a 6 to 10 week job. You've then got an extra week's capacity, because instead of starting the next job on week 13, you're now able to start the next job on week 12. So you've got an extra week's capacity for the team to start an extra job. So that one works really well, 20% of the labor saved. And then some guys will reward their builders on the team, and they'll do it basically on a points basis. We've got templates on this as well, anywhere from sort of 36 points to 80 points on 5 key things: client reviews, peer reviews, what they would like to work with other builders, quality of work, communication, and timeliness or speed of work. And then they'll get anywhere typically from $100 to $250, depending on how long the job is. Is there anything else that you take into account when you're assessing guys, like how they work with other guys, or how much work is involved from you guys in the office for us?
Yeah, so one of the key thing for us, and we've got a bit of a young team, the key thing is they also want to know how they're going. So it also appears in with your reviews that you do with our workers every 6 months as well. So we'd ask my electrician, my plumber, who've been with me for a long time, we'll ask how our foreman's going with them. So how they organised when they come to site? Are they having to call the plumber 10 times, for visits, or is it last minute stuff? We also ask our rep from ITM, how's our foreman gone? How's he been with his ordering? Is he ringing up every half hour to order stuff? In our office, we'll look at the invoices in the office, as how often he's actually gone and picked up materials as opposed to ordering them. So when we're reviewing their incentives, when we're reviewing them, we're going through a whole lot of different things to assess them. Obviously, all our jobs are going to make profit, because that's how we price them and that's how we do the sales pitch and our budget. So all our jobs are going to make a profit. You'd have to be pretty poor not to make a profit. One of the things you said, Marty, was my involvement. How often I have to go to site and be involved in stuff, whether it's me sorting out clients, variations, HR. I was at a job the other day with one of my good foremen, and I walked around, and because I know the scope of work, and there was a soap niche in there, to do a tiled shower, so that the foreman hadn't picked that up as a variation. Just that's right. $350, So if I'd said, hey, by the way, you've just lost $350 of your bonus because you never picked the soap niche up, So there's a lot of factors, but the other factor is if I was too stringent on the bonuses based on all the performance, based on just one thing, which is the labour on the job, my guys would want Dan Carr and Kieran Reid. They wouldn't want some of the other guys on the job. So you're only as good as your team that you've got with you. So you've got to base your incentive, for me personally, on a whole lot of different varying factors, what they think. Yeah. You
don't want Sonny Bill Williams on your job, because he'll get red carded and then there'll only be 3 instead of 4 on your team.
Exactly. But there's a whole lot of different aspects that you'll look at and go, how do I give this guy a bonus? Is it just on the profit? It could be on his learning, his ability. Now he's doing HR better. Now he's doing some of those other factors better, which initially may not make the job faster or more profitable, but over time it will do eventually. With these young guys, to train them and get them through. And it might be just a case that I'm not going to site as much now, which is cool. Which eventually that saves me time, but it's not going to come on the spreadsheet of a job. So just bear that in mind.
Yep, cool. Vicky and Rob have also put in. With regards to tool allowance, we do have a tool allowance for our guys. So I don't know how legit it is, but I put aside $1 for every hour each week, and I have a spreadsheet. I email them every week, and which says how much they have available to spend. They then use our account to buy tools, and I deduct the amount spent off that money set aside and the spreadsheet.
Any thoughts, comments? Fantastic.
Yep. Cool.
I think that's great. That's awesome. That's a great idea.
Awesome. Okay, cool.